If enough young people vote in this upcoming election, it could be a total game changer and put our pollies in a spin. But lots of them might not even be enrolled. That's something we should talk about. All right, I'm talking directly to the almost 1 million Australians who are not enrolled to vote for the election on July 2. And specifically, I'm talking to the 38% of you democracy resistors who are aged between 18 and 25. And I've got to be quick because we don't have a lot of time. So, what are you thinking? Are you happy with the people that everyone else has elected to lead us so far? Just think about this. Right now, thanks to successive governments, we have 12% youth unemployment. And if you do have a job and you work on the weekends, you might not be getting paid penalty rates. Oh, and thanks to tax breaks for older Australians, you've been locked out of the housing market. And if you're at uni or thinking of going, you could end up paying $100,000 for your degree. And despite all of this, almost 50% of 18-year-olds still aren't enrolled to vote. And you know what? I get it. I get that you don't feel represented or part of the conversation. I get that you're made to feel dumb and lazy and inexperienced when you ask questions or voice an opinion. And the truth is, it suits Malcolm and Bill to keep you quiet. Because if we had automatic enrolment of all eligible voters, there's some evidence it would actually benefit the Greens the most. And that's bad news for the coalition, who are politically at odds with them, but it's terrible news for Labor, who would see their own voter base erode.
If you look back over the last 7 or 8 years, it's been a shambles, basically, politics. So I think young people would be disillusioned with the major parties if they were to vote. I doubt they'd be flocking to them.
If the 400,000 young Australians who weren't enrolled at the last election had actually voted, it could have changed the outcome of a third of the electorates. It could have changed the whole government. What I'm saying is you and your mates could actually decide whether or not these people actually have a job.
Clive Palmer won his seat at the last election by 53 votes. Now, that shows you how close some of these contests can be. At this election, there are at least 20 seats that can be defined as marginal. So, of course, a few extra young voters could change the outcomes.
Recognise these faces? These guys are all standing at the next election in marginal seats. They might only win or lose by a handful of votes, so that means that your vote absolutely matters. And also, I don't want to be a downer, but not enrolling to vote's actually illegal. And if you're busted for not voting, you can cop a fine. So here's what I'm proposing right now. Pick up your phone or jump on your computer, go to aec.gov.au/enrol and take 5 minutes to enrol to vote in this election. Do it right now, because in less than an hour, for some reason, at 8 p.m, you will no longer be able to enrol. So you have something like 50 minutes. I mean, you could enrol 10 times in that time. I mean, don't, but you could. But don't. And then after you have enrolled once, text your friends, send them a message on Facebook or Snapchat, or go old school and actually call them. I don't care who you vote for, just vote, because right now we only have a partial democracy. Let's get a real one. You guys could completely change the outcome of this election and make it clear to our politicians that it's time they considered you when making their policy decisions about things like jobs and education and housing and the environment, or how we treat asylum seekers, whatever. And if that doesn't excite you, then maybe you just like the idea of making Malcolm and Bill really bloody nervous. Let's do this.